Hello, my name is Suzanne Vincent. I have prepared an apologetics course for you. It is primarily focusing on the apologists, the men and women apologists. The title of the course is Men and Women Apologists of Christian Faith through Early 21st Century. That would include up to the present time, 2025. Most of the information in the book that accompanies this course was completed more than a year ago. So it was completed in 2024. So it does include information through the early 21st century. The book that accompanies it is divided into 5 chapters. The lessons are divided into 5 lessons. So each lesson covers one of the chapters. This is the book that accompanies the course. There are 5 chapters. There's also an introduction and an appendix. The appendix goes a little bit more into detail about apologetic methods, or methodologies, as they're called. So this course is prepared to help you learn the major apologists, the men and women, and also to get an idea of what apologetics is all about. It's a review, it's a complete survey, and it is a compilation of many hours of research to help you in your study of apologetics. So this first lesson, or the first PowerPoint of 5 that go with the course, the first lesson covers both the introduction and Chapter 1. Chapter 1 focuses on 4 different websites that lists apologists. You can go to those websites on the internet. We want to ask the question, do any of the lists include women apologists? Do the lists include African American apologists? We will add some apologists to the lists that are found on these 4 websites. The introduction has 3 parts. First of all, we want to consider what is the word apologetics and how is it defined. Secondly, we want to show that the Christian worldview is an important part of apologetics. Many apologists compare the Christian worldview to other worldviews, such as secular humanism or other religions. Thirdly, we want to introduce the idea of apologetic methods. 3 primary methods are the classical, the evidentialist, and the presuppositional methods or methodologies. We will introduce at least 3 other methodologies. So let's start with a definition of apologetics. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary gives 2 definitions. First, a systematic argumentative discourse in defense, and that would apply to apologetics of any way of thinking, not just Christian. Secondly, it is a branch of theology devoted to the defense of the divine origin and authority of Christianity. So when people see the word apologetics, they often think of Christian apologetics. As you know, the New Testament was written in Greek. The Greek word apologia, as used in the New Testament, refers to a legal defense in the Greek court system. Apologia, the Greek word. In 1 Peter 3:15, the word apologia is used. It is translated give an answer or defense. 1 Peter 3:15 from the Good News translation says, "But have reverence for Christ in your hearts and honor him as Lord." Be ready at all times to answer anyone who asks you to explain the hope you have in you. So it is to give a defense of your belief in the gospel, 1 Peter 3:15. We're going to see that worldview is a very important part of apologetics. The Christian worldview, or the biblical worldview, has to be compared to that of other religions. Lining up the Christian worldview alongside that of other religions or other ways of thinking, such as secular humanism, is an important part of apologetics. This has been emphasized by a number of people, one being Nancy Pearcey. Nancy Pearcey is presently a professor of apologetics at Houston Christian University. Another example of a Christian apologist who emphasizes worldview is David Noble. David Noble has now retired from Summit Ministries. He founded Summit Ministries in 1962. We'll cover more about worldview in lesson 3. So let me just say that worldview is an important part of apologetics. Nancy Pearcey, who received an honorary doctorate from Philadelphia Biblical University, is a proponent of worldview as part of apologetics. By the way, Philadelphia Biblical University changed its name to Cairn University. Nancy Pearcey says that her studies with Francis Schaeffer at L'Abri in Switzerland in the early 1970s influenced this worldview concept. One of the more important books that Nancy Pearcey has written is Total Truth: Liberating Christianity from its Cultural Captivity. David Noble, who founded Summit Ministries in Manitou Springs, Colorado in 1962, also emphasizes the importance of worldview. Let's compare worldview of the Christian to that of other worldviews. David Noble received his bachelor's degree from Hope College in Holland, Michigan. He received his master's degree from the University of Tulsa. A book that he wrote is Understanding the Times, the story of the biblical Christian, Marxist-Leninist, and secular humanist worldviews, published in 1991. This book has been edited and changed, and a couple different newer editions have been published along with Jeff Myers, who is now the president of Summit Ministries. So as we look at apologists and apologetics, we're going to see that there are 3 primary methods that are different from each other, those being classical apologetics, evidentialist apologetics, and presuppositional apologetics. There are other methodologies as well that will be covered more in lessons in the future. We'll give you examples of apologists who fall into these categories and into other categories. Also, the appendix of the book gives a list of different apologetic methodologies and also evidences that fall within these categories. There are at least 3 other methodologies that will be mentioned at this point. A 4th methodology is Augustinian or pastoral apologetics. Examples of apologists that fall in this category are Joshua Chatra, who is at Liberty University, and Mark D. Allen, who was at Liberty University. They're examples of the pastoral apologetics category. A fifth methodology is experiential or narrative apologetics. This emphasizes life experiences and intuitions as the best methods to convince individuals of the truth of the gospel. So if one gives a testimony to another person to convince them of the gospel, this would fall into the experiential apologetics method. Another approach is literary apologists. This was a sixth approach, according to Shatra and Allen, literary apologists. Examples would be G.K. Chesterton, C.S. Lewis, and Dorothy Sayers, who were all of the UK, and they have all passed away. They were early 20th century apologists. Let us delve into the first chapter of the book and lesson 1. The various lists of Christian apologists. There are 4 websites that I've chosen to look at to give you a pretty thorough list of apologists. One is 27 apologists listed by Wikipedia. Another list is that developed by Frank Turek and Cross-Examine website. They list the top 20 apologists. Apologetics 315 website has 100 apologists listed. And then fourthly, the Historical Bible Society website lists 5 apologists. So we're going to look at who are the major apologists on all of these lists. Let's just touch upon 4 well-known Catholic apologists at this point. Those would be G.K. Chesterton, who is deceased, G.K. being Gilbert Keith. His apologetics were accomplished after age 48 when he converted to Catholicism. Secondly, Peter Kreeft converted to Catholicism as an undergraduate at Calvin College. He is now a professor of philosophy at Boston College, a Catholic college. Peter Kreeft and Ronald Tacelli wrote Handbook of Christian Apologetics, hundreds of answers to crucial questions. And this book, which has been used by various classes in different universities, was published in 1994. Third Catholic apologist is Scott Hahn. He converted to Catholicism after serving as a Protestant minister for many years. And fourthly, the Jesuit priest Friedrich Coppelson, born in England, he converted at age 18 from Anglican denomination. He's now a Jesuit priest. In looking at these 4 different websites, we wanted to ask who was listed by all 4 websites. Of course, the last one, Historical Bible Society, only has 5 listed. But who was listed by all 4 websites? Only 2. That would be John Lennox and Hugh Ross. John Lennox is a mathematician. He is a chaplain and speaker. Actually, he's a president now of the Oxford Centre for Christian Apologetics in the UK. And the other listed by all 4 websites is Hugh Ross. Dr. Hugh Ross is an astrophysicist, and his ministry is entitled Reasons to Believe. A little bit more about John Lennox. John Carson Lennox was born in Ireland. He is considered a proponent of intelligent design, the ID school of origins. He has a number of degrees. His Masters in Math, Masters of Arts, and Ph.D. are from Cambridge, Emmanuel College at Cambridge. He has a Master's and Ph.D. from University of Oxford. He also attended Cardiff University in Wales, a Doctor of Science from Cardiff, and he attended University of Surrey with a master's degree. This is a little bit about 30 miles outside of London. Hugh Ross is in California now. He was born in Canada. His bachelor's degree in physics was from the University of British Columbia, and his PhD and master's is in astrophysics from the University of Toronto. He was born in Montreal. He is an old Earth creationist with some unusual or unique ideas about the origins question, the origin of Adam and Eve, and the origin of the universe. But who is really the most influential apologist of the 20th century? Many people would say it is Francis Schaeffer. Francis Schaeffer was ordained as a Presbyterian minister. He died in 1984. The reason he was so influential is he's influenced so many apologists, so many others. One of the more important books that he wrote is Escape from Reason, a book that critiques different philosophies and talks about the importance of the Christian worldview. So we have considered that Francis Schaeffer might be the most influential apologist of the 20th century. Who is the most influential apologist of the 20th to the 21st century? That might be Norm Geisler. Norm Geisler taught at Trinity Evangelical Divinity School for 10 years. He graduated from Loyola University in Chicago with a Ph.D. in philosophy. That is a Catholic university. His master's degree was from Wheaton University, just in the Chicago suburb area, evangelical university. So he was acquainted with both teaching from the Protestant and the Catholic perspective. After Norm Geisler left Trinity, he went to Dallas Theological Seminary for another 10 years or so, and then he founded Southern Evangelical Seminary in 1989 and taught there until 2006. He then founded Veritas International University in 2008 and taught there for more than 10 years. Looks like 11 years, 2008 to 2019. So Geisler founded Southern Evangelical Seminary in 1992. He founded Veritas in 2008, and he also founded the International Society of Christian Apologetics in 2003. He founded that because he wanted to emphasize the inerrancy of the Bible. Here is Norm Geisler. He is the author of so many books. One of the more important books is Christian Apologetics. As I said before, Norm Geisler authored many books, about 128 books. Cross-Examine website, and Frank Turek, who is the founder of Cross-Examine website, says that no, Tom Norm Geisler is the top apologist. He did influence Frank Turek. Frank Turek is the television host of the television show, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. Norm Geisler was a mentor to Ravi Zacharias. He was a mentor to Alex McFarland, who now is a very influential apologist at the present time, 2025, and there are many other apologists that Norm Geisler has influenced. Norm Geisler influenced William Lane Craig. William Lane Craig received 2 master's degrees from Trinity Evangelical Divinity School when Norm Geisler was there. So Craig was influenced by Norm Geisler. William Lane Craig's bachelor's degree is from Wheaton College. Craig earned a Ph.D. in philosophy from the University of Birmingham in the UK. Also a Doctor of Theology from the University of Munich in Germany. His doctoral dissertation from Birmingham was published as the book The Column, Cosmological Argument. William Lane Craig is now a professor at Biola University, one of the schools that trains many, many, many apologists. Let's consider another apologist, Ravi Zacharias, who was influenced by Norm Geisler. Ravi Zacharias received his master's degree from Trinity Evangelical University when Norm Geisler was there. Zacharias was born in Madras, India. He immigrated to Canada at the age of 20 with his family. He is a world-traveled evangelist, familiar with the Asian ministries. He founded his own ministry in 1984. However, it came to light that there was abuse going on amongst his ministry, and he was accused of being sexually abusive toward various employees and other persons. So who is Alex McFarland, the presently influential apologist influenced by Norm Geisler? Alex McFarland received his Doctor of Divinity from Southern Evangelical Seminary when Norm Geisler was there. He became the president of Southern Evangelical Seminary from 2006 to 2011. Alex McFarland is a creationist. He has his own website now, alexmcfarland.com, and he has a television show, which is showing presently, called The Alex McFarland Show. So are there any women listed by these 4 websites? Apologetics 315 has 2 women apologists listed. They are Mary Jo Sharp and Amy Orr Ewing. Mary Jo Sharp is at Houston Christian University. Amy Orr Ewing is in the UK. She is presently an honorary lecturer at the University of Aberdeen School of Divinity in Scotland. I have asked persons taking this course to get a copy of this small book, Why Trust the Bible by Amy Orr Ewing. Why Trust the Bible? Answers to 10 Tough Questions, published in 2020. At this point, I would like to mention a few other apologists of the 20th century. Ken Ham is an apologist, and his ministry is Answers in Genesis. He's also associated with the Ark Encounter in Kentucky. Michael Brown is Messianic believer. His website is askdrbrown.org. Grady S. McMurtry has a website, creationworldview.org. He is an apologist. People are probably familiar with R.C. Sproul. He is a neo-Calvinist. He founded the Legionnaires Ministries and passed away in 2017. Another apologist is Reverend Wayne Jackson, Church of Christ. He worked with Apologetics Press in Alabama, which is a Church of Christ apologetics publisher. And then also we need to consider D. James Kennedy, who passed away in 2007, Presbyterian minister at Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church, another apologist. Let me say a few words about R.C. Sproul. He wrote an important apologetics book entitled Defending Your Faith, An Introduction to Apologetics, which was published in 2003. He was ordained as a Presbyterian minister, and he is considered to be a Calvinist or neo-Calvinist. He has 2 doctorates, one received from Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam, or the Free University in Amsterdam in 1969, and also Whitfield Theological Seminary in 2001. He founded the Legionnaires Ministries in 1971, and they're still going strong, although R.C. Sproul passed away in 2017. I'd like to add several African American apologists. There are 4 that are important. One is Perseus Poku, found in Sacramento, California. He is the founder of Sound Reasoning Ministries, srministries.org. Secondly, Eric Mason, author of Urban Apologetics, Restoring Black Dignity with the Gospel, published in 2021. Another book entitled Urban Apologetics, subtitle Why the Gospel is Good News for the City, is written by Christopher Brooks, published in 2014. And then a woman apologist who is also African American is Lisa Fields. She has released a curriculum called Urban Apologetics. The specific title is Through the Eyes of Color. A 5th African American apologist now lives in Africa. He was born in California, in Los Angeles in 1969. His name is Vodi Balcom. He's the dean of the School of Divinity in Zambia, this university, African Christian University. He has written a book, Expository Apologetics, Answering Objections with the Power of the Word, published in 2015. His doctorate is from Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary. The last slide of this lesson, I want to mention some other apologists that will be covered more in future lessons. More about William Lane Craig. We want to mention Lee Strobel, Josh McDowell, Greg Kukel, Tim Keller, who died in 2023, founder of the Gospel Coalition, Gary Habermas, who is at Liberty University, Hank Hanegraaff, the Bible Answer Man, Sean McDowell is the son of Josh McDowell, and he is a professor at Biola University. And we also want to mention J. Warner Wallace, another apologist that we'll talk about in future lessons. I want to recommend to you that you read the chapter. There's much more about the things that I've covered in the PowerPoint in the chapter of the book. So it's important, if you want to learn about these persons in greater detail, read chapter 1. And also, if you want to learn more about Amy or Ewing, take a look at her little pocketbook. Read over the chapter on other holy books, recommended chapter. Hello. There are two things I would like to add to this lesson. First of all, the book is a short book. You can read it. It is helpful. It has more information than the PowerPoint, of course. And I have asked that it be required reading for this course. There's one sentence that's an incomplete sentence. It needs an is or an are or something in it to make it a complete sentence. But anyway, the book is carefully written and has been edited. Straightforward, readable book. Secondly, I would like to say that Apologetics continues to this day. This is 2025 publication, the PowerPoint, and the course. This is a quarter of a way into the next century, 25 years into the 21st century. But apologetics continues even to this day. I just ran across another apologist who was influenced by Norm Geisler. His name is Sean Nelson. He received his doctorate from Veritas International University, which was founded by Geisler. And his website is Geeky Christian. Let's see, make sure I got that right. geekychristian.com. You can find him, and he has a survey that you can take to determine what kind of an apologist you are. Are you a presuppositional apologist? Are you a classical apologist? And he has a whole list of different methodologies that he asks questions about, so he can come up with a conclusion as to what kind of an apologist you are. So the field of apologetics continues to grow. This is a good introduction. It's mostly about people. It's not about details of the biblical scriptures to use. You can work on that. You can work on your own personal apologetic method to reach people with the gospel. Thank you. To be continued in lesson 2. God bless you.